Everybody, it's Henry. So this morning a topic is going to be about promotion. And why I want to talk about it, where I started working at 7 years ago, plus now maybe going on 8. There's many people that I saw working out on the deck plate, because I'm on the deck plate. I'm at the top, but I hang out at the deck plate because the amount of work that gets done is by the deck plate leadership, the deck plate people. The top just dictate. They bring in the work and say, hey, go do it. They're never the ones that actually put to the grinder anymore and push and pull and lead by example. They lead from the top. They go to the meetings, they handle all that stuff, they handle the admin and the pay. I get it. But the deck plate is where the rubber meets the road. So being out there, I met a lot of great deck plate people that had inspirations to be leaders or supervisors and didn't seem to have the opportunity to get there. So 7-8 years ago, when I ran into several of these, I can give 6 off my top of my hand here, and asked me what did they had to do to get from here to there, and I kept telling them, your head's got to be on a swivel 360, I call it. In other words, when you're looking to move up or be a boss, you got to still lead by example. You can't use people as a stepping stone, and you got to have your head on a swivel looking for the opportunity to do it without jeopardizing your integrity and your character, stepping on others to get there. Keep up the hard work, keep the nose to the grind, and have patience. Sometimes getting up on the next ladder rung is important. Everybody has a whiffum. What's in it for me? And the whiffum is advancing, gaining more power, gaining more pay. Now, some people are about the power and not about the pay. Some are both. They need the power and the pay because they don't manage their pay correctly. And then there are ones that just want to have the position to make everybody's life around them just a little bit better than what theirs was. So I told them to stay patient, every one of these persons, and they made it. And then when I bumped into again, they put their arm around me, hugged me, and I thanked them and I congratulated them. But they thanked me for being the influence that I'm influencing them and leading by example and never giving up. You know, I've been pounded down, and I can give you hundreds and hundreds of stories of pounding down, and I'll give you those. But every time I got pounded down, just like falling in an ocean, and you got to tread water, and your head goes down because you get tired, and you get the despair that you're not going to make it. You have to tread a little bit harder to pull your head back up and get that breath of air, so you can get that one more chance of making it. That's been my whole life. And my pitch to you is that's what you got to do. When you're out there treading in the water trying to get that one breath of air, you got to have that another ounce of energy to do it. But when you come up for that air, look for the opportunity to save yourself. How much more knowledge do you got to get? Do you have to study better for the next interview? Is your resume strong enough? How about your personal resume? I think, I don't know if I posted that yet. I'm going to post one on that. But I'm going to ask you, how many resumes are they? You can write me a message and tell me what you think. I will tell you how many resumes there are, and I'll tell you how to build each one. So one can't build without the other. So let you figure that out. But back to the people making and get advanced. That's the greatest thing the organization I work at did, was promoting these 6 people that I know of to the next level. Because they were a deck plate guy. And now as a supervisor, they're out there strategizing. I got to watch 2 of them that grew up together on a deck plate and were strivers and overachievers, and they both made supervisor, actually 3 of them, and I got to watch them all working together and strategizing what they had to do for a boat we just put in the dry dock. That's teamwork. You should never fight with your coworker for the next step. Your character will stand out that you are a stepping stone person, that you'll step on somebody to make yourself look good. The team that looks the best is the team that works together, right? Back when I was going through leadership school, they would use different types of sports as an example of a team. And they would use a hockey team, they use a soccer team, they use a basketball team, and a football team. And through my life, after listening to those analogies of leadership, I would ask people, what team would you pick to be the leader of and is most efficient and has a higher chance of winning together and all of them having the same goal? You really need to think about this now. I want you to look at all these sports again. Look at hockey, look at soccer, look at basketball, and look at football. And you tell me which team you'll pick. And then I'll give you a breakdown why each one only has one particular winner on it, and it's not a whole team that wins. Because that goes back to another topic, and what I've used is called perception's reality. The perception of the team you'll pick gives you the reality that's the team you want to be on. But to be honest with you, if you broke it down and really looked at it, there's only one structural team example that I gave you out of those four that are actually a winning organization is one. Curious if you can pick it out. And I've trained these people and talked to them about it and said, don't pick that team. And this is why you want to have this team name above your head. Because it is systematically everybody is on the team together for one common goal. You think the other one is, but it's always one singularity person that's making the win and stepping on the wrist to do it. And the one, if you watch at the end, they talk about is the one that did it. It's pretty interesting. You probably never even thought about it. So as an upcoming leader or a striving person from the neck plate moving up that wants to be a leader, don't use the people around you as stepping stones. Don't use your coworkers at it. Don't use anybody near you. Don't go around kissing ass and putting your nose up somebody else's butt to climb the next ladder. If your character has to do that, then your performance all as a person needs to improve, because I've never had to do it. It just naturally happened. It's because I went to work, I focused on myself, I focused on my coworkers, and I held my coworkers up above myself. There was even a time in the Navy when we were advancing from one rank to another rank that I took a 7-year pause, and I didn't make chief. I was doing the chief's job. I had a letter to say I could do the chief's job, but I was a chief as a first class. And those 7 years went by, 4 years went by, and then 7 years went by, and I didn't look at it and say to myself, well, why didn't I make chief? Personally, I really wasn't ready for it, but I wasn't going to use my division to step on them to make chief. I had other first classes that worked under me. I was the senior first, the LPO they call it, and then I was actually filling the role of an LCPO. So on a submarine for 4.5 years, I did not have a chief. I had a letter to the captain from BUPERS that said, Petty Officer Schwinn is the acting chief. All right, I didn't make chief. I wonder why. Because I was putting my people first. I was advancing them. I worried about their career, knowing that my career would take its time when it was my time. My point to you is, when it's your time, it's your time. But don't use your people around you to make it go and progress faster. Don't look down that you don't make it and maybe somebody in your team makes it. What did you do wrong? I had to relook at my exam. I relooked at my eval. I went to the COB. I refocused the captain. And so what am I doing wrong? I'm ranked number 1. I got everything. It's the way they were writing the eval. It's the way they were presenting it. It wasn't examined. It wasn't my other evals. It's just the way the command was writing them. I went to an outside COB. I didn't even know him. I'm like CMC. And I said, hey, can you look at my evals? I'm a freaking first class on here, 4 years over, passed over for making chief, and I'm the number 1 guy on board. I'm highly awarded. My division's awarded. I'm performing. And he looked at it, he says, they're writing it wrong. They're skewing it, the way they're using the words. Next eval period's coming up. He took all my input and worked with the COB. They rewrote it, submitted it to the captain, signed it, and that year I made chief. It was all because the wording and the way they were taking the perception of who I was, what I was doing, and put it out into the board of other chiefs that are going to look at it so that they could look at it and get a proper perception, a new set of eyes, a new set of eval, and look at it and see why my potential wasn't being tapped into and I was being promoted to chief. But the moral of the story is I'd never used my inability to get there against my people. I wasn't sour. I didn't step on them. I didn't say I'm mad at the world. I didn't give up. I just kept figuring out another way to improve myself. I tried to figure out a way to improve my eval. And my pitch to you as a leader is you got to look at yourself and making sure you're doing the right things and you're not stepping on your people to make yourself better. Don't use the people around you as pawns to do that. Don't name drop. Don't act like you know everybody. Don't be jealous because somebody else made this or made that and you didn't. Go look yourself in the mirror and say, what are you doing wrong? Maybe you're doing too much ass kissing. Maybe you're doing too much politicking. Maybe you're doing too much stone stepping. Maybe you're stepping on heads and bumping heads. Maybe people don't perceive you the way you think you want to be perceived. People can catch your persona and your character and who you really are really fast. It can shut people down knowing you if you're that type of person. They're not stupid. People think other people are stupid. People don't look at the emotions of another person when you say stuff. You got to pay attention to detail and not be that name dropper, stepping on people, walking over, going behind somebody, poke them in the back, saying negative stuff. You got to really watch that. It comes back on you. It can slow you down. It can delay you. So I gave all these tools and all this conversation to people that I believe would make good supervisor and strive to the top, because I believed in them, and they did it. So my pitch to you is work hard, keep your nose to the ground, have patience, look at your weaknesses, fix them. Don't exploit others. Don't abuse others. Don't go behind others' back. Don't step on them, right? And use them to help excel you and lift them at the same time. Does that mean giving them awards so you can progress off of their back in the right positive way? Then that's what you do. It's not always about yourself. You do have your own with them, but your people's with them and what's in it for them is much more important than yourself. Anyways, that's my morning rant for today. I hope you listen to it. I hope I'm helping you be a better person. I do get emotional. I'm very emotional in what I do, and sometimes I'll have that breakdown, just like talking about McDonald's. And I'm going to put another McDonald's story on there because it's actually a really bright one, and that's what sparked my emotion yesterday. And that's going to be my next YouTube podcast. All right, everybody, you're great humans. You got to look at your life like that. You got to pull your bootstraps up, get yourself out of the ditch, the gutter, wherever you're at, the despair, and tell yourself you can do it. Look in the mirror and say, I can do it. Improve yourself a little bit at a time. Sometimes you can't eat the whole cake. You'll get sick. You just got to eat one piece at a time. All right, Henry out. Have a great day. It's Friday. The end of the week is here. January's already gone. The new year already into February. All right, love you guys. Everybody's a great human being, and you just got to look at it yourself that way and just move on. Henry out.